Good evening, everyone. When Elsa asked me to share, I was like, oh, nervous, right? I mean, it's nerve-wracking to, one, be up here in front of everybody, but it was also nerve-wracking for me because to think about what is God doing in my life. I mean, I know what he's doing with me and mending the soul, but what is he doing outside of mending the soul? And I had to just step back and take a moment and think about it. And as I did, the last 2.5 years have kind of been my trial or testing place. All right, you want me to get closer? So 2.5 years ago, my daughter developed excruciating knee pain out of the blue, no injury, just bam, all of a sudden she's down and can't move, and the pain is quite bad. She had to stop working. She couldn't drive. She couldn't care for her 2 kids. She had a 3-year-old and an 8-year-old at the time, and they needed help. And my son-in-law's in the National Guard. He's full-time, active duty, and so he does has to go away a lot and train and that. So they asked me to start coming up and helping out. Now, my daughter lives in northern Vermont. I mean, 12 miles from the Canadian border. So it takes me 4 hours to get there, plus or minus. If I can get around a few 18-wheelers on my way up 22A. So I've been going up there since October 21st. I go up, I spend the week up there, and then I come home because I want to go to church, but I have mending the soul. So on Friday night, I get home, I get the weekend, and then Tuesday morning, my alarm goes off at 5 in the morning, and I'm in the car before 6 o'clock doing the 4-hour drive up there to get there in time to get my grandson from preschool. It started going week after week, month after month, and she was seeing doctors, specialists, and all that, but they were coming up with no answer. Everything was coming back normal. And so on my drives, I'm praying, I'm asking God, what's going on? Please heal her or give the doctors wisdom to know what to do. And I felt like my prayers, I don't know if you ever felt that way, where my prayers were hitting the roof of the car and not going any further. And I was getting discouraged. But every night, on Friday night, I get home, I have Psalm 46:10 on my wall. Be still and know that I am God. And I'm like, you've got a plan for this. I know it. And so months turned into years, and I'm getting to the point where I'm doing this every week for a year, and I'm tired. I'm like, God, come on, please. It's hard to see her in pain. It's hard to see my kids grandkids not even be able to hug her because of the pain. And I just didn't want to do the drive anymore. And the verse, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it was with his strength that I have been able to drive up there every week for the past 2.5 years. So a 1.5 years into this, Mandy finally got a referral to New York City. And I got my answer to why this was all happening last summer. My grandson, my oldest one, he's 10 now, but I have been doing a bedtime routine with him. I come in, I pray, and I sing him a song. Started out with the camp songs, My God is Mighty, and Oil in the Lamp and all those, Father Abraham's. But then I started singing him church songs. And I started sharing with him about Jesus and the gospel and the good news and sin and forgiveness and all that. And this past summer, I got to lead him to the Lord. And if I hadn't been able to spend all that time up there, that wouldn't have happened. Now, my other grandson, he's 5 now. He's a pipsqueak, let me tell you. For him, he doesn't let me pray with him, but he'll let me sing. And every once in a while, he'll say, Grandma, can you sing me the Jesus songs? And I sing him, Jesus loves you, and Jesus loves the little children. But he changed the words. So when I sing Jesus loves the little children, it's red, orange, green, yellow, blue, purple, turquoise, cyan. So I've got Barney and all the Paw Patrols covered. So Mandy was diagnosed with complex regional pain syndrome. She, this past summer, just before Christmas, had a nerve stimulator implanted in her back, and she is now able to control the pain to her knees. This past week, my grandson came, the youngest one, Colton, came home from school, and he saw her sitting on the couch, and he launched himself. And she normally would have said, "Oh, my knees," but she opened up her arms and she caught him. And it was the first, she gave him a really big hug. And it's the first time that she's been able to do that in 2.5 years. No pain. This Tuesday, I get to sleep in. This chapter of my life is closed, and I'm looking forward to what God has for me next. But I want you to know, when you're going through the trials, just to remember that he is God, and you can ask him, and he will give you the strength that you need to get through the trials. And there is joy in the morning.